Hello, welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries from the best time of the day, that part of the morning before everybody else is up. It's about 7 o'clock on a Sunday. So good morning, Sunday. Yesterday was a fantastic day, and by way of an update on the fleet, the Gullwing passed its MOT, which I wasn't surprised about because it's relatively new. 2 weeks ago, the Guzzi passed its MOT. They all seem to fall around the January time, which makes it a bit expensive if anything needs doing, and so the insurance is up and the tax is up as well. So it's a costly month. That's January, it's February, isn't it? God, the year's racing by. Costly month, but that's all good. Yesterday was the first decent day of the year, so I went for quite a long ride and left everything else in the garage. Last weekend, nothing was going right at all, so one of those days where whatever the opposite of the Midas touch is, that's what we had. So we just left things, and then it comes back today to have a look at getting some more stuff done on the chop. Now, at the moment, it runs. The final drive, the gearbox are all assembled. So short of brakes and starting it, it's in a rideable condition. And that means that there isn't an awful lot to do before it's time to think about trying to get it registered. So I've been reading the MSVA manual, which is the tester's manual for the single vehicle approval for motorcycles, which, as I understand it, is the first step in the journey. So you get a frame number first, you get an MSVA test, then you get an MOT at the moment, but of course the law tends to change every now and then. Now, I've been reading it. It seems to be a reasonably sensible set of rules, things like don't have the headlight up here, don't have the headlight right down there, nothing too onerous. But one thing did grab my attention, and that is the brakes. So one of the things it specifically says is that you can't use a component that is likely to fail as a braking service brake. So it's a brake to regularly stop the vehicle. So for example, you couldn't have a device that used the chain, put some retarding force on the chain to stop the bike, because the chain might break and then you would have no brakes. So it also specifically says that you cannot use a sprocket as a brake, which is a bit of a pain because I kind of get it on some of the sports bike sprockets where they're all drilled and they've got holes in, but I can't really see any reason why something this thick and solid that's directly attached to the back wheel is likely to fail. But it's a set of rules, and that's what the rules say, and in my experience it is better to be within the rules, and then if you get an argumentative tester, you're on fairly safe ground. The alternative is to be outside of the rules, and then right from the start you know that you're going to have to try and persuade somebody to see things your way. So what's the answer then? Because I can't put a sprocket on the other side, so I can't put a braking disc on the other side because there's a sprocket on both sides of the bike. I think the answer is to squeeze a brake disc in here. Now, I didn't initially think there was room to do that, and there certainly isn't if the brake disc is the same diameter as the sprocket, because there isn't room in there for the caliper to fit. However, if the brake disc is of a bigger diameter, the caliper would be out here, and I think that is quite doable. So I've had a look. The rear wheel, as best I can measure it, is a 5-hole 81mm pitch circle diameter for mounting the sprockets, and as luck would have it, it looks like the front brake disc is the same. So it's a 5-hole 81mm PCD. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pop off that rear disc. I'm going to pop off the sprockets, the back wheel. I'm going to offer up the disc and see if it fits. And if it does fit, then I'm going to just reduce the thickness of that spacer there by the thickness of the disc, rejig the spigot that locates everything, and see if I can get that front disc into here. And then I can take the caliper off the front of the bike and see if that would fit in there as well. And if it does, that's a nice easy win for me. If it doesn't, if the disc isn't quite a large enough diameter, there is a slightly larger disc available. And I've also done some research. It's the same mounting as a ZZR 1100 front disc, which is freely available, and they go right up to 320 millimeters, which is probably out there somewhere. So I think there's enough options. And if I do get that sorted, along with the front master cylinders on here and foot pegs, it means I'll be able to plumb in both of the brakes and have a working front and a working rear brake. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to end this video rather than try and edit it all at the end of the day. That's the plan for today, and at the back end of the day I'll pop another video on to let you know how I've got on. So that's where we're at right now on a Sunday morning. It's going to be a wet few days now, so I'm glad we had a good day yesterday. Great day for just having a trip out after the MOT. So fantastic. So yes, that's the plan. As usual, thank you for watching. More updates will follow.